Against the void. The stars looked different from the observation deck of the Endurance. Captain Maya Chen had spent enough time in space to know that wasn't just her imagination. The farther humanity ventured from Earth, the more alien the cosmos became. Fitting, since they were now truly in alien territory. "Captain, we're receiving another transmission," First Officer Elias Torres said, his voice cutting through Maya's thoughts. "Same frequency as before." Maya's fingers tightened around the railing. 3 days ago, the Endurance had detected an unusual signal, a repeating pattern unlike anything in human records. As the flagship of humanity's expansion fleet, carrying 10,000 colonists in cryosleep, the Endurance's mission was exploration. First contact wasn't in the mission parameters, but Maya had diverted course anyway. Now she was beginning to regret that decision. "Put it through," she ordered, turning away from the viewport. The central hologram flickered to life, displaying a being unlike anything Maya had seen before. Its body was a swirling mass of translucent tendrils, constantly shifting and reforming around a dense core that pulsed with bioluminescent light. When it spoke, the translation system converted the complex harmonics into words that made Maya's blood run cold. "Human vessel, you have ignored our warning. The collective has determined your species is too dangerous to be permitted unrestricted expansion. Your technology, your adaptability, your ambition. These traits make you a threat to galactic stability." Maya stepped forward. "We come in peace. We seek only to establish a colony." "We have studied your transmissions for decades," the alien interrupted. "We have seen your wars, your environmental destruction, your rapid technological advancement. The collective has voted. You will surrender your ship and all advanced technology. Your colonists will be relocated to a supervised habitat where they cannot threaten the established order." The bridge fell silent. Maya's mind raced. The Endurance wasn't a warship. It carried scientists, engineers, farmers, teachers, families seeking a new beginning. "And if we refuse?" she asked, already knowing the answer. The alien's core pulsed brighter. "Then your ship will be destroyed as an example. The collective has already dispatched vessels to your homeworld with the same ultimatum: comply or face extinction." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. "Orders, Captain?" Torres asked, his face pale. Maya turned to her crew. Each face showed the same fear, the same uncertainty. They had trained for solar flares, micrometeoroid impacts, equipment failures, not first contact with a hostile alien collective. "Sound general quarters. Wake the security team from cryosleep and arm them. Begin emergency evacuation procedures for all colonists to the escape shuttles." "Evacuation?" Torres questioned. "Captain, we have 10,000 people on board. And we can't surrender them or our technology," Maya replied firmly. "The Endurance carries the best of humanity, our knowledge, our hopes. If these aliens are threatening Earth too, we need to warn Home Command." Maya moved to the tactical station, pulling up star charts. "Proxima Station is 3 light days from here. If we can reach it, we can use the quantum communicator to send a warning to Earth. The shuttles can hide in the asteroid field while we transmit." Torres shook his head. "The Endurance won't outrun whatever they send after us." "It doesn't have to," Maya said quietly. "It just has to buy enough time." The next 18 hours were a blur of organized chaos. Cryopods were cycled to consciousness in groups. Colonists were briefed, terrified, and loaded onto the fleet of escape shuttles. The Endurance wasn't designed for rapid evacuation, but desperation made everyone work faster than thought possible. Through it all, Maya maintained a calm exterior, even as the long-range sensors detected multiple objects accelerating toward them. Alien vessels moving at speeds that defied human engineering. "Last shuttle away, Captain," Torres reported. 97% of colonists evacuated. Security teams standing by at their stations. Maya nodded, watching the tactical display. The shuttles were moving away from the Endurance on a vector toward Proxima Station, their signatures masked by a scattering field. "Set course directly away from the station," she ordered. "Maximum thrust. Let's make sure they follow us, not the shuttles." The ship hummed as its engines pushed to full power. On the display, the alien vessels adjusted course, taking the bait. "They're gaining fast," the tactical officer warned. "Intercept in 22 minutes." Maya opened the ship-wide communication channel. "This is Captain Chen. For those who volunteered to stay aboard, you know our mission. The Endurance will draw their forces away from our people. We'll transmit everything we know about the collective to Proxima Station. Whatever happens next, remember that what we do here matters. Humanity won't surrender its future." She closed the channel and turned to Torres. "Ready the package." The package was a desperate gamble. The Endurance's antimatter containment system, rigged to overload on command. Not a traditional weapon, but in space, improvisation was survival. As the alien vessels closed in, the first shots struck the Endurance. Strange energy pulses that bypassed the ship's shields and disrupted systems throughout the vessel. "They're targeting our engines," Torres reported, holding onto his console as the ship shuddered. "Communications are failing." Maya watched the tactical display. The shuttles were nearly at the edge of sensor range, moving toward safety. But the collective vessels were too fast, too powerful. Even with the Endurance as a distraction, they would eventually hunt down the colonists. Unless they had no reason to search. "Prepare to vent atmosphere in all non-essential sections," Maya ordered. "Make it look like catastrophic damage. Then set course for the lead alien vessel." The crew stared at her in shock. "We're going to ram them," Torres asked. "We're going to make them think the Endurance is crippled and desperate," Maya corrected. "Then we're going to get close enough that they can't avoid the antimatter containment breach." As the plan was executed, Maya recorded a final message, transmitting it toward Proxima Station on all frequencies. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Endurance. We have encountered a hostile alien collective that demands humanity surrender its technology and independence. They threaten Earth itself. All data we've gathered is attached to this transmission. The colonists from Endurance are hiding in the Proxima asteroid field. Find them, protect them, and warn Earth, we are not alone, and we are not safe." The Endurance, venting atmosphere and debris, limped toward the alien vessels. Maya watched as they slowed their approach, perhaps confused by the ship's behavior. When they were close enough, she gave the final order. "Initiate containment failure." Torres looked at her, his hand hovering over the control. "It's been an honor, Captain." Maya nodded. "For humanity, Elias." As his hand came down on the control, Maya closed her eyes, picturing Earth, blue oceans, white clouds, the home she had left behind to seek new horizons. Now she would never see it again, but perhaps her actions here would help ensure it survived. The antimatter containment field began to fluctuate. On the sensors, the alien vessels suddenly accelerated, perhaps realizing the danger. Too late. The bridge of the Endurance filled with brilliant white light as the containment field collapsed. The rising tide. Consciousness returned to Maya in waves, each bringing more pain than the last. She opened her eyes to unfamiliar surroundings. Curved walls of an iridescent material that seemed to pulse with its own inner light. "The human awakens," a voice said, speaking perfect English despite not sounding human at all. Maya turned her head, fighting waves of nausea, to see a being standing, or perhaps floating, beside what appeared to be some kind of medical bed. Unlike the swirling mass of the collective representative, this alien had a more defined form. A tall, slender body with 4 limbs and a head featuring multiple eyes arranged in a pattern around its skull. "You're not collective," Maya managed to say, her voice raw. "No, we are the Meridian. Refugees, like you will soon be." The alien moved closer. "I am Vox, chief scientist of what remains of our people." Maya tried to sit up but found herself restrained by some kind of energy field. "The Endurance, my crew. Gone, Vox said simply. Your antimatter detonation destroyed 2 collective vessels and damaged 3 others. An impressive feat for a supposedly peaceful species. The memories came flooding back. The evacuation, the desperate plan, the brilliant light. Maya had never expected to survive. How am I here? We retrieved your escape pod moments before the detonation. You were the only life sign we detected. Maya frowned. She hadn't used an escape pod. The last thing she remembered was being on the bridge with Torres. Reading her confusion, Vox explained. Your first officer placed you in the pod while you were unconscious from a head injury. His final act, it seems. Elias. Maya closed her eyes against the sudden sting of tears. He had saved her without her knowledge, sacrificing himself in the process. The colonists? She asked, fearing the answer. We detected numerous small vessels hiding in the asteroid field near Proxima Station. The collective is searching for them, but the debris field from your ship's destruction has created some confusion. They believe all humans on board were killed. A small victory, but it wouldn't last. They'll find them eventually. Vox's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. Perhaps, unless we intervene. Over the next few hours, as Maya recovered from her injuries, Vox explained the situation. The Meridian were one of several species who had resisted the collective's growing influence in this sector of space. For millennia, the galaxy had maintained a delicate balance between various alien civilizations, none gaining too much power over the others. Then the collective had discovered something, an ancient technology from a long-extinct species. They had used it to subjugate other civilizations, forcing them to join or face destruction. The Meridian had chosen resistance and paid a terrible price. Now only a few thousand remained, hiding in ships and secret bases throughout the sector. Why does the collective see humanity as such a threat? Maya asked. We've barely left our solar system. Because you are different, Vox replied. Most species evolve to fill a specific ecological niche and stay there. Humans adapt constantly. Change your environment instead of being changed by it. The collective fears what you might become. And what about the ancient technology they found? Vox hesitated. It is called the Nexus. It allows control over gravitational forces at a quantum level. With it, the collective can destroy planets, create weapons beyond imagination. But they cannot fully control it. Why not? The Nexus responds to consciousness in ways we don't fully understand. The collective's group mind causes instabilities when they attempt to use it at full power. They believe humans, with your individualistic minds, but strong social bonds, might overcome this limitation. Maya understood now. They don't just want to stop our expansion. They want to study us, maybe even use us somehow. Yes, and we cannot allow that to happen. Vox moved to a control panel, and the restraint field around Maya disappeared, which is why we need your help. Maya slowly sat up. What can one human do against an entire collective of advanced aliens? One human who destroyed 2 of their warships. Vox's mouthparts moved in what might have been a smile. You underestimate yourself, Captain Chen. Besides, you are not alone. Over the following weeks, Maya worked with the Meridian, contacting the hidden human shuttles and bringing them to a secret asteroid base. Other alien refugees joined them, species Maya had never imagined, each with their own reasons to resist the collective. Together, they formed an unlikely resistance. The humans contributed their adaptability and ingenuity. The aliens provided advanced technology and knowledge of the sector, all united by a common enemy and the desperate need to survive. Through careful reconnaissance, they learned the location of the Nexus, a massive structure orbiting a neutron star, guarded by the collective's most powerful vessels. We can't possibly attack that, Torres would have said. Maya found herself thinking of him often, missing his cautious pragmatism. But he wasn't here, and caution wasn't a luxury they could afford anymore. Instead, Maya proposed an audacious plan, not to destroy the Nexus, but to use it. If the collective can't fully control it because of their group consciousness, she explained to the War Council of Mixed Species, then perhaps a human could. Not to create a weapon, but to create a shield, something that would prevent the collective from threatening any world again. The plan required infiltrating the Nexus facility with a small team, while a larger force created a distraction. Maya would lead the infiltration team herself. "This is our one chance," she told the assembled refugees. "Not just for humans, but for all free species. We either succeed together or fall separately." The battle began as a desperate gamble and quickly became a chaotic nightmare. The resistance fleet, cobbled together from various alien vessels and modified human shuttles, launched a direct assault on the collective's defense perimeter around the Nexus. Meanwhile, Maya led a small team aboard a stealth vessel, technology contributed by a species called the Whispers, experts in avoiding detection. They slipped through the battle, docking with the massive Nexus structure as alarms blared and weapons fire lit up the void around them. Inside, they fought their way through collective defenders, both biological entities and automated systems. Maya had never fired a weapon in combat before the Endurance's destruction. Now she moved with the practiced efficiency of someone who had spent months fighting for survival. When they finally reached the central chamber, Maya saw the Nexus itself, a pulsing core of energy, unlike anything in human science, suspended in a containment field of incredible complexity. "The interface is there," said Krell, a Meridian scientist on the team, pointing to a platform extending toward the core. "But be warned, Captain. The Nexus will connect directly to your consciousness. No species has successfully interfaced with it individually without being overwhelmed." Maya stepped onto the platform. "Then I'll be the first." As she approached the core, tendrils of energy reached out toward her. The moment they touched her skin, Maya's consciousness expanded beyond her body. She saw the structure of space itself, the delicate quantum threads that bound reality together. She felt the gravitational forces between every atom, every planet, every star. And she felt the collective. Millions of minds joined together, pushing against her, trying to wrest control of the Nexus away. For a moment, Maya nearly lost herself in the vastness. Then she remembered Earth, the colonists, Torres' sacrifice, humanity's potential future among the stars. She focused on what made humans unique, not just their individuality, but their connections to each other. Not forced like the collective, but chosen freely. With that understanding, Maya shaped the Nexus energy, not into a weapon, but into something new. A network that spread outward from the core, creating boundaries that the collective could not cross. Not walls, but filters, allowing communication, commerce, cultural exchange, but preventing the use of force across those boundaries. When Maya finally disconnected from the Nexus, she collapsed to the platform. Krell rushed to her side. "What did you do?" The alien scientist asked in awe, looking at displays showing the energy network expanding throughout the sector at faster than light speeds. "Created choice," Maya said weakly. "Every world, every species can now choose their own path without fear of the collective. They can't force anyone to join them anymore." The collective, realizing what had happened, broke off their attack. Their ships retreated from the Nexus facility, unable to approach it through the new network Maya had created. In the aftermath, as the Resistance celebrated their unexpected victory, a transmission came through from the collective. The same swirling entity that had threatened the Endurance appeared before Maya. "What you have done is unprecedented," it said, its tone unreadable. "You have not destroyed us, but limited us, forced us to interact through communication rather than domination." "That's the human way," Maya replied. "Or at least, it should be. We underestimated your species' potential. Perhaps there is much we could learn from each other, given time, and the new parameters you have established." As the transmission ended, Maya looked around at the mixed group of aliens and humans working together. What had begun as a desperate fight for survival had become something more, the beginning of a new understanding between species from across the galaxy. Earth would no longer face the threat of extinction, but instead could join a community of diverse civilizations. The colonists of the Endurance would establish not just a human outpost, but a place where different species could exchange knowledge and culture. Against all odds, by choosing to fight rather than surrender, Maya had helped create something none of them could have imagined. A future where humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its technology or adaptability, but in its ability to bring others together in common cause. As she watched the stars through the viewing port, Maya thought they didn't look so alien anymore. Different, yes, but now filled with possibility rather than threat. And that made all the difference.